Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Grand Finals of VSS number 61. I'm Last, and I'm still joined by the venerable man under the sea, Chad Lantis, and we're going to be bringing you Black Dragon Society versus DNA Diff here in this best of three.
These are two teams that I would have wagered to be underdogs going to the last semifinal match that they fought. Black Dragon Society just taking out Scrounging Pros. True to their name, a lot of pro players on that team that are very recognizable, and they just beat them out on Bind as a 13-10, I believe it was. But then the other side of things, we have DNA Diff, who just talked about Team Basilisk, which is one of those teams that have been up and coming in a lot of these tournaments lately and been showing a lot of promise. They beat them out 13-4. And they did so last on Haven,
Yeah.
which was their map pick. And the first map that we'll be starting off the series on, guess what it is?
It's going to be Haven, ladies and gentlemen. And after Haven, where BDS will be starting on the defense, we'll be heading right into Bind, which we just saw Black Dragon Society play on, where DNA will be starting on the defense. And if we need it, the third and final decider map will be on good old Ascent. But that remains to be seen because we still have to get through the first two maps no matter what. And Haven, you just brought it up that Basilisk have been a threat for the longest time in these tier 2, tier 3 tournaments. I remember they first rose to pretty big prominence when they gave Sonics a run for their money, when they give Time In a run for their money, so on and so forth. They really got diffed by DNA Diff in semifinals. They got beat 13-4 on one of their stronger maps of Haven. So I'm, for one, am very excited to see what they'll be bringing here. They're already warmed up for the map. They're already raring to go. Can Black Dragon Society weather the storm?
Yet to be determined. And going to this map, Black Dragon Society, we just watched them had a very patient, calm, cool, and collected playstyle on their team. Going to Haven, it's going to be a little tougher to do that if with all three sites to deal with. This is that three-site map. You have A, B, C. And a lot of teams go A or C, split to the opposite ends of the map. Is a pretty large map at that as well. So Black Dragon Society, they're going to have to do a really good job of rotating it to where the enemy goes for attack. On Bind, we just saw them deal with a lot of patient angle holds to take out the aggressive defensive playstyle of Scrounging Pros. If DNA Diff doesn't do that and they play a lot more standard, then Black Dragon Society might struggle a lot more on attack, which we'll probably be seeing mostly towards the A or C sites for this map. Like I said, we'll have to see what they can do going into this match.
Yeah, Haven is always a matter of being able to flow like water between the three sites. You've got to be able to be very, very fluid in how you play the defense, because if the attackers can out-rotate you, it's even more dangerous than on any of the other two-site maps, where if you say, have a 3-2 split of defenders, it's very easy to hold site until reinforcements arrive, but on Haven, the defenders spread much more thin. So when they're spread that thin, you've got to be so very careful that they don't just get overrun. And if they get overrun, well, that's the end of the round for them. But without further ado, it is time to get into game number 1 of our grand finals of Black Dragon Society versus DNA Diff, presented to you by AimLab. So let's get into these agent picks.
Cypher being picked up, which is no surprise to me whatsoever. This is one of Cypher's best maps these days. Killjoy seems to be more prominent Sentinel or Sage, but Cypher still runs really strong on Haven. You can just shut down multiple angles. There's like 5 lanes basically for this map. You can just shut down 2 of them as a single agent. Is actually pretty massive for your team. Omen being picked up versus the Astra. Sova, as we see always. But what really stands out to me is that new agent, KO.
We've got a KO!
You
Go!
got it,
Yes!
Last.
Finally, it's been so very long in the making, and I finally get to cast some KO gameplay. We'll see what he can do here on Haven. Early reports have been saying that this is one of his stronger maps, so we'll see what they can make happen with the KO, the buff bot here, but remains to be seen. And otherwise, though, Chad, we've got 2 nearly identical team compositions coming out from BDS and DNA.
Yeah, very similar compositions for sure. The biggest difference is one's going double duelist, one's going double initiator. The double duelist is really good for just going for those frags, those plays, whereas double initiator would be a lot more team-based oriented. So I'm looking at DNA Diff to be a lot more cohesive on attacks, more of a unit, whereas Black Dragon Society would be more of like a solo play, scrappiness, which if you're gonna have somebody do that, I'd be looking at Core on that Reyna again. We just now saw Core just pop off on Vine with that Reyna being supported by their team very well and very effectively. We'll see if they can do the same thing on Haven versus this more cohesive aggression out of KO going full speed as well. They already have access to the B site immediately in the round.
Yeah, they're already on site. They're already getting the spike down, and it doesn't seem like anyone from Black Dragon Society is ready to stop them. The spike's going to go down, and they're going to immediately retreat from the site. But oh, look at Diamond's fan coming around, trying to make something happen, but immediately taken down by Dubbin. Dubbin gets the quick pickup. Planks tries to get the refrag, but it's just Core dismissing out of the way off of Planks' kill because he has no other option. And now bodies are just falling left, right, and center. Alco able to pick up the final kill with that Sheriff in hand. And Aiko just closes it out, gets the beautiful finish, and DNA Diff starts so very strong here on Haven.
So very strong. And that was my concern I brought up pre-game there last, is that maybe Black Dragon Society's biggest weakness is a little bit too slow on the rotations, on the response. They took like 5 seconds or so before they really made significant moves in response to DNA Diff taking advantage and control over B sites. That's a lot of time burned and allowed DNA Diff to fully set up a post plant. Now they have a lot of buys. They're actually going with a couple pistols still. A Sheriff and Ghost in hand, Frenzy. They're trying to just force the opportunity to full buy into round 3 and maybe try to win out the second round.
What is this? Hang on, Chad. They're doing the exact same thing that they did last round. Just off the bat, they rush down into the B bomb site, immediately get the plant off, and they have full control of it. Neon gets a great pickup onto Diamond's fan as he tries to hold in the corner, and Planks, as he makes his way on to try and hit the diffuser, just gets caught by the KO molly. He falls down, and now it's a 5-on-3. One more falls down, 4-on-2. The rest of them, bodies dropping like flies. It's all onto Core. The shorty comes out, finds a shot, but mid-reload gets taken down. There's not much you can do when there's only 2 bullets in your gun. And DNA Diff, is this what happened to Basilisk?
That shorty range was nuts. And I think we're seeing what happened to Basilisk. It happened off stream. They won 13-4 against a strong team like Basilisk. They just pushed through to B site. I'd be very surprised if they do that again this round because a lot of rifles are in play. That kind of works on B site if there's like short range weaponry on the field. But with rifles, it's a lot tougher to try to push through that wide distance, that long distance of middle right here that you see 2 members of Black Dragon Society setting up for.
Regardless, though, it looks like this time, at least, as Black Dragon Society tries to anticipate this B-side push, DNA Diff is going to decide better of it. Play this round a lot slower. Everyone's got rifles, so they want to be a lot more careful. Looks like ADD was not careful enough as Tristy, sorry, excuse me, takes him down early.
They just got full access to A site and finally clearing out Heaven as well is massive. So now they're going to be able to get a safe plant off. Core might try to say something different about it.
Not going to be able to stop the plant before it happens, though, as the spike goes down. Now they're going to be able to reposition themselves within the site to try and hold onto this as strongly as possible. Dubbin sends the arrow up into Heaven, now spots out the 2 players who are up there, and is able to turn around in time, but not able to get the kill on Diamonds. Neon with the refrag, though, and Adept and Core coming in. The cleanup crew leaving Aiko all alone, but the spike is planted for him. He's in a great position, gets the headshot onto Planks, and now this 1v2 is very doable. But it's not doable for Aiko as Adept peeks out, gets the wall bang, gets the kill, and Black Dragon Society is on the board.
I think I saw the sparks fly of a headshot there too last, but it was through the wall, so it wasn't full damage. Unlucky, really. Just a sliver off from what would have been a kill there in 1v1 situation to finish off the round. But still, Black Dragon Society able to get around back to the side. Adept and Core with that Heaven control was able to just float on the side with some picks, make it happen. Tristy, honestly, buying a lot of time with getting that initial pick off as well onto Adder to take away one of the initiators from the team, to take away a lot of the post plant options. They used that Molotov, the fragment from that KO agent pick on a lot of the post plant options alongside Asher utility. So taking that away is actually a really big hindrance to DNA Diff's post-plant situations.
Looks like this is their strat, though. They're just into sight as quickly as humanly possible. Neon's got the knives up, and he's looking for someone to give him a target. You see the shock dart coming out, so they know at least one person's CT, but do they realize that there's someone else heaven? Well, Neon, he's got his head on a swivel, and he's looking around as the spike goes down to try and find someone. DNA Diff have just completely locked down the site. It's so difficult for anyone, including Black Dragon Society, to make their way back in once they just rush on into a site. But Neon going to miss the knives. It's not going to matter, though, because the rest of his team is going to turn CT into a firing squad as 3 individual players pick up 3 individual kills, and Black Dragon Society is just going to have to retreat to keep their guns.
That nebula was just slightly off, which left a sliver of exposure for DNA Diff to be able to see all 3 of those members, be able to go onto site from CT. 2 of them fall, 1 barely makes out to save a weapon, but that's still the end of the round. So nice little, like, I can't say it's a mistake. I think that was intentional, just like misposition of the nebula to leave that sliver. Black Dragon Society didn't recognize it, ran in there, and just got obliterated. So DNA Diff with this aggression, high speed, velocity gameplay, I love to see it. It's kind of late at the night as well at last, so let's get those action happening. Let's make the matches happen faster. Love to see it. DNA Diff finding success so far. Neural thefts are available right now, so surprisingly enough, that's the first one to come available for both teams. Actually, no, the Empress and Ace are away, but still very fast charge neural thefts.
Well, remember what I said at the very beginning during the pre-show is that on Haven, if one team can out-rotate, out-sight push the other, that's when things get really, really scary, and that seems to be what DNA Diff has been able to do, as Aiko finds an early kill on the planks. They're just completely misdirecting Black Dragon Society at every moment of every map, and now with the Gravity Well, Dubbin going to be able to take down Core, a 5-on-3 push. This is going to be so hard.
Ooh, that push and pull away as well. They made a big presence happen at A site, and now they're just going to rotate right away from that location. Looks like they're planning to go for B again. They have that KO and Astro available still. All agents are alive, so they have everything they want. So they have a full post plant setup ready to go.
Spike is down. 3 players alive from Black Dragon Society. The smoke goes down, giving Tristy sightline into sight, and they're going to push in, finds Neon, but it doesn't matter because Aiko takes down a depth before he gets the chance to do anything. They have control of this site, though, in the 2-on-3, but it is planted for Nick. So if Nick manages to get this swing out, it's very, very dangerous for the players trying to tap onto the spike. Now the Gravity Well is popped. Knocks Diamond's fan off the position he was wanting to hold on to, but it's not going to matter as he takes down ADD. Gives his teammate the opportunity to defuse the spike, but it's going to be too little too late. Yeah, Diamond's fan going to look so good, getting headshot after headshot after headshot, but he just can't do it in time. They don't manage to defuse the spike. It blows up in their face, and despite the kills, the round will be lost.
It was just slightly too late. Diamond's fan came up so big with a 4K there, just headshot after headshot, so clean. Even got one through the wall just with prediction shots. Surely I thought that Black Dragon Society was able to win out that round. I just, in the excitement of the moment, lost track of the timer myself, and it was just too late. DNA Diff just held on a little bit too long, and now Black Dragon Society calling a timeout. They're falling behind our rounds, and they need to do a regroup session right now, figure out what they can do. They dropped 1 player early that round, and then left themselves exposed to that neural theft especially. So DNA Diff was just able to exploit their locations and capitalize perfectly. Good job on them. Black Dragon Society, Bladestorm available, neural theft themselves. What can they do to make this round be winnable despite the economy not being in the best of positions?
Black Dragon Society is going to call for the tactical timeout, give them a second to confer, because except for that one round, they managed to get the firing squad going, get the engines churning. They just haven't been able to get anything going, so they are going to confer. Try and figure out a new type of strategy to counter DNA Diff's ridiculous amount of regression onto these sites. It looks like their target for this time is going to be C, the first time they've made any moves towards this site, Chad.
Vandal they saved from the last round. They dropped to Core because Diamond's fan has a Bladestorm themselves. So both of the duelists have effectively a rifle to work with here. So they can have some pop-up performances in this round. Core has done so many times for Black Dragon Society. Last game we saw them in the semifinals. We'll see if they're able to do something of the same here. That's an interesting null command thrown that cross-map knife give information back site.
Oh, but Neon rushes on in, finds so much alongside ADD, just takes them down, and yeah, like you said, turns C-Site into a bloodbath. It's going to leave Tristy all on their lonesome, trying to push up C long, but only a Sheriff in hand, and they're not able to thing happen with it, as Dubbin just finds the final kill. They even get the spike down, that little extra insult to injury, and this is just Black Dragon Society getting diffed.
I've been playing KO a lot more lately, and lately he just came out, so I've been playing KO, and I need to learn that null command lineup from cross map to get it to the back of C site, just to shut down any abilities you try to use to stop your push onto through C long, and also give you the information of who's back there. Great usage of this utility from the new agent.
Cover going out.
Next round starting off, and it looks like Plank's just going to try and do his utmost to make sure that they can't push in. But like you said, that lineup with the knife just going to force him out of position immediately. They rush in, but through the smoke, Diamond's fan going to find the body shot onto Neon. So great use of the op, able to get them at least a player advantage here, but they have control of sight. They can't get the spike down thanks to the dueling Sovas. It's the wizard duel coming out here. They're just waiting.
Agents, I've been saying null command instead of 0 point for the knife, but just to use null command, the ultimate to get on the site as well. Now the cosmic divide popped by the Astra, take off site, make it so hard for me on site, but they're even past the wall. Adip was not expecting that one thing.
Shots through the wall are going to come in, but Aiko isn't quite taken down yet, living with 14 HP remaining. There's so many people right outside here. Aiko could come up huge. He finds Tristy on the owl drone, and then ADD comes through, cleans them up, and DNA Diff picks up yet another round.
They're looking so clean right now. They had a perfect timing for when they heard the owl drone going. That's whenever the peek came out from Aiko. Adder and another member of DNA Diff, I miss who exactly it was, but also peeked from the site at the same time, just to do a pincer maneuver over towards the CT access and just cleared out house. Even if they try to run away back out towards CT spawn, then Aiko would have the angle. It's beautifully done. Great cohesion for this team so far.
Now, starting off this next round, it seems that maybe Black Dragon Society is going to be attempting to meet aggression with aggression as Core pushes his way into sewers with the Judge, but is just forced to back off after all of their... How did he get that kill? Regardless, Aiko immediately refrags, takes Core down. Tree Stay's position is now known, and they're going to get caught out by the Molly plus the shots. Cleaned up in quick succession. Now the 3-on-2, and Black Dragon Society is going to reevaluate how they're trying to hold on to this.
Yep, tough spot to be in for Black Dragon Society because they have to try to read exactly where DNA Diff will go. Seems like the read is good. They're just expecting that full swing happening. They're going to have a good post-plant options. Sova, Astra, and KO. That's exactly the 3 agents you'd want to be alive if you can only pick 3 on this team composition.
Diamond's fan peeking out, but immediately taken down by Dubbin. Quick headshots. Very nice play from him, and now with the knife coming in, Planks virtually an unwinnable situation. So much utility coming down onto site, so many people watching it, able to get down, takes out ADDR, but the clock's ticking away, pressure is on, and Planks just cannot make it happen. So another round picked up for DNA Diff, and this is a wash on the attacking side.
They're looking so clean. Aiko especially is just popping off 12-4 scoreline, doing so much work with the Cypher pick. And what we're seeing as well is Cyphers are so good, touched about earlier during the agent select, so good at setting up trap wires for defensive, just to block off 2 of the 5 lanes essentially on this map. But you can also use Cypher on offense to just set up the anti or counter rotation of flank angles. You saw that trap wire right there near a lobby they're set up. So nobody can really push through A to really be able to get a flank without the Cypher knowing that happens. So great post-plant option agent as well. DNA Div not being punished at all with their hyper aggression on the site. They're just running through this map so far.
He's running almost. You say running, but Neon running into sight finds 2 headshots. The knives and resets, ready to take some more. Core's going to try and make their way in. through heaven, but it's looking like a tough sell. Lear comes through, but it's shot down immediately, and they're just trying to find that little crack in the post plant of DNA Diff to make their way into sight, but it's just not showing. They have no cracks. They can't make their way into sight. They can't get past them. Core tries to push in, gets one onto Dub, and Tristy gets another one, but it's now a 3-on-3, and the clock is ever present. Nick finds planks. And this is just a tough situation to be in, but they line up for Core, and he finds all of them, but it's not going to matter because there's no time. And Core, this is the second time where someone on Black Dragon Society has done everything right, found all the kills, just could not find the defuse after.
And that just goes to it where this team is so good, especially Core and Diamonds, to just be able to pull off these big frag moments, clutch it up. These are two really strong players on this team, but the problem with the team overall is just too slow to the tempo. DNA Diff is just faster to the punch. They're faster to getting to the site. Whenever they're pushing out there, Diamonds fan was looking at short with an op-out, just leaving CT door. But Neon was already there in hell with the Bladestorm ready. So Black Dragon Society, you need to get faster. Add up a little bit slower in the peak here as well. Add are already there ready to go with firing squad with a teammate next to them as too. So already on B site, they're just so fast. And Black Dragon Society is falling behind.
Every round. They just immediately get onto site, immediately get the spike down. Now Diamonds fan manages to get Aiko off the board and planks behind them with a huge paranoia. Diamonds manages to get Nick down, and now it's actually all onto Neon, but manages to get around planks before the kill comes through. Only 4 bullets in the mag, but it's not going to matter. Even with only 4 bullets, they're able to peek around, and with just the classic remaining, finds Tristy, finds the headshot, and finds the 9th round for DNA Diff.
The bait movement to get information and fall back behind wall. Diamonds didn't go aggro to try to challenge that before Neon was able to fall to the ground either. And Tristy was just slightly away from getting the defuse in time. It's this again, just that speed. Neon is just like a track star right now, just going all over the place so fast. The team as well, and that just showcases it. Black Dragon Society doing a great job. That Paranoia is perfect. They had good positioning. It just, again, it comes down to the speed. Black Dragon Society, if they can figure out how to be faster with the executions, faster with the decision makings, less hesitation, they'd be a completely different story right now. Already on site, Neon again.
Just had the Guardian, was trying to fire through the smoke, but without the ability to spray, just so much harder to find that easy shot. Wasn't able to do it. Neon takes them down. This Hunter's Fury is going to come out, but it can't deny the plant. Does take down ADD, so that's the KO off the board. But the Neural Theft going to come through, revealing all of their locations. Diamonds fan trying to make it work, trying to do the Neon with their knives out, but they're just being locked off of sight yet again. It's the same song and dance we've seen before, though. Adept, maybe adding some new steps into it, takes down Aiko. But now, one of the last remaining members tries to get it, but gets caught in the crossfire in the process of getting the kill, and it's all onto Tristy. Tristy in the 1v2, trying to peek around, trying to take them down, but the spike is ever present. They get the shot onto Neon, a great shot at that, and they're able to take down Nick.
No time again.
Yet again, Chad. For the 3rd time this game, someone on the side of Black Dragon Society manages to clutch it out, but it's just too little, too late. And the bomb detonates.
Even there, Tristy wins it out, but it was crab walking. So the pop shots Neon was doing was for somebody running up to try to get the kills happening in time and get the defuse off. But because Tristy is moving so slow, that's kind of why they were able to get that kill off, was just crouching under the pre-shots and pre-aim of Neon. It gets the kill off from that, and then wins a really good wide swing win against Nick later on, but it's just too slow. All these rounds, Black Dragon's losing, I should say most of them, is just from the speed difference. Haven's a fast-paced map. They have to go faster.
And Chad, not only are we looking at a double-digit half,
Getting that revive.
we are potentially looking at a 11-1 half, which is almost unheard of, especially in grand finals of VSS.
Yeah.
They try to make their way back in on site, but Neon, look, he's just indomitable. Finds the headshot onto Diamonds fan with the knives, and now it's the 4-on-2. Make that a 4-on-1 as Adept finds themselves all alone with only 5 health to their name, and now 0 health to their name. As Nick closes it out, they get the spike down regardless. But 11-1. How is
Oh
this
my.
happening, Chad? How are they this good?
So, like, technically, this is an attacking favorite map, but it's pretty close to a 50-50 situation. An 11-1 difference. That's not going to really matter a whole lot. The only good saving grace for Black Dragon Society at this point is now they're going to have to go into an attacking side against a defensive team that doesn't have any. Oh, they do have a Sentinel, but still, okay. The other thing, so now that one of the two things is actually voided out, I've realized they do have a Sentinel. The other thing that they have to their saving grace is that they can control the pacing of this a little bit better. DNA Diff might be aggressive, but the Cypher Tripwires will be to shut down a lot of the aggro rotation and flanks a lot. So maybe Black Dragon Society can use the tempo to their advantage now, control the pace of the game a little better, slow it down, and play to their strengths.
Regardless, though,
fast as
it's
well.
all going to be on how this pistol round goes. Maybe trying to take a little page out of DNA Diff's book. Diamond's
no.
fan tries to make their way into sight, but immediately knocked down before they can get the spike off from a great shock arrow from Dubbin. And now Spike is out of their hands. Spike is in the hands of the defenders. More and more bodies are just falling here on site. They might need to just back off and try and take different stock of the situation. Instead, though, Tristy going to find a great shot onto Dubbin.
Just pre-aiming, pre-firing, and it works out. It's a lot of information with every recon bolt. He knows the
Shots from
crossfire.
Ico coming through. They get blinded, and Neon on the flank finds two while both are blinded out. Now it's just Tristy all alone. They get swung from two angles simultaneously, and there's nothing they can do, especially not with a pistol in hand. And DNA Diff put themselves onto match point for game number 1 of Grand Finals here at VSS number 61. This is ridiculously fast, Chad.
Yeah, Black Dragon Society tried to take a page out of DNA Diff's book, went straight into B site, but was a little bit miscoordinated. Left Diamond's fan a little bit on an island. Core was kind of close to there, but it was all smoked off. Core couldn't really do much about it, and the shock darts were in there. DNA Diff was like, hey, we recognize this game plan. This is ours. We know a counter to it. All stacked on B, didn't worry about flanks immediately, but then Black Dragon Society took forever to go onto site and make anything happen from there, not having Spike, and allowed Neon to get the flank. And now Tristy getting a big kill on Neon. They do have the ability to get the frags happening if they can have that timing on their own time. That's a big option. This is the last round. If they lose, so they fully buy up. Aiko trades it out, evens the playing field 4-4 in this situation. But Black Dragon Society still has Spike in hand, still has a lot of time to work with.
Chad, take a peek towards the health. Tristy nearly died in the process of getting that kill, and Dubbin immediately trades out the advantage that Core picked up. So it's a 3-on-3, but a tenuous one at that, as Tristy is very, very low. They have no source of healing on either side. So once you take those bullets, it's permanent. Now, Tristy getting the spike down. Gonna get that plant off on B, but in the process, Diamond is going to get a little bit too aggressive, be taken down by Dubbin, and the quarter hold doesn't come out from Tristy. They're immediately taken down. Now it's all on Adept. The spike is there, but it's at least going to be tapped up to half, if not defused in its entirely, and he's just going to stick it while Adept falls down, and DNA Diff, they do what was probably thought to be impossible, Chad. They take it 13-1, only conceding 1 round total across the entire map to Black Dragon Society, and they're going to take a huge advantage here in Grand Finals.
We knew they were going to come in strong on Haven, considering they beat Team Basilisk at 13-4 scoreline going into this match. The 13-1 is even stronger, and a lot of that just came down to the speed. I've been saying that word so many times, and that was the difference maker. They're very cohesive, very coordinated with their aggression as well, which is huge. And then Neon especially was standing out to me, just popping off, making these big plays happen, but a lot of people on the team were just doing the same. I didn't see a ton coming out of the KO pick overall, just because everything was working for the team, so they didn't have to really dig deep to do some crazy KO tech on the map. The biggest one I saw was that throw across map with that the 0-point knife, but the MVP going into Aiko on the map. Cypher plays were on fire this map for Aiko as well. A lot of that was with the tripwires, the shutdowns, the lockdowns, the cyber cage, and that neural theft was able to exploit the defense a lot too.
Yeah, but in addition to Aiko, I got to give a lot of credit to Neon. Neon was so instrumental, almost always being first on site, first to kill, first everything, getting so much in the way of space, in the way of kills, in the way of utility for their teammate. So both of them, great stuff, and taking number one. And I would also like to point out that I was the only person in Twitch chat who put my channel points down on DNA Diff. I put 1.3k channel points down, and I'm getting 12 to 1 odds. So I'm about to get paid out with 12,000 channel points.
Wow. I didn't even think. I was just focused in casting mode. I didn't even think about putting any points in it. So I'm definitely gonna have to do it for the next match. So everybody look out for that. But that's a big payout for
Regardless,
sure.
though.
Last, congratulations.
Regardless, though, we are going to toss it to a quick break before we get into map number 2 to see if DNA Diff can keep up their streak of dominance. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere because we'll be right back with some more Valorant Sunday Showdown.
Somebody, how long he will be on my mind. He will be on my mind.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I don't even know what to say after that last match. I know it's my job to be saying words to you all, but it was a 13-1 for map 1 of Grand Finals, Chad. What the heck are we expecting going into Bind?
So going to Bind, we're talking about a little bit in between the break about how I'm kind of thinking Black Dragon Society has a lot better shot because Haven is a very go with the flow, be like water. We talked about it on the pregame for it. It's a lot more high speed, and if you can't keep up with the pace, you're going to struggle with it. On Bind, Black Dragon Society is a lot slower paced team as far as action. But when they played Bind against Scrounge and Pros, they actually did a really good job of just shutting down the tempo and the intent to go faster pace by Scrounge and Pros, force it to be a slower game, and made it play at their own pace. So going to Bind, this is their map pick, and they're going to try to run it back and do the same thing to DNA Diff. So the question is, can they do it? Do they still have the mental to do it this late in the night? After going down 1-13 on the first map, will they be able to recover, regroup, and be able to come into Bind their pick, their bread and butter, and make the game play at their tempo? There's a lot less angles and lanes to work with in Haven. It's a lot smaller map, and they were able to do it successfully against a lot of really good players beforehand. Going to this map, can they do it again? That's the question to be answered.
Without further ado, though, we are going to be getting into our agent selection here on Bind. Without a doubt, we already knew that the Sovas were going to be locked in by both sides, the Raises by both sides. We are going to see a different players. Astra on the side of Black Dragon Society, while the Omen is going to come out. And there we see our Viper on the hands of Ico. So no Sentinels, actually, on the side of DNA Diff. They have nobody to really hold on to the site like a Cypher, like a Killjoy, etc. But I guess you could consider that Viper can fill that same sort of role on defense with the one-ways and the Molotovs, etc., etc. But it still will be interesting to see how they play defense, considering that's where they're starting out.
KO's locked in again. We didn't see a ton of KO in the first map as far as like, this was the reason they won the round, except for that throw cross map with the knife, which is really good to see, as well as a little bit of aggression with the ultimate ability. So see if they have any lineups this time around on the side of Adder wielding the new agent, or if it's more like a straightforward, just use it to do standard Molly lineups, things like that. Going to this map, though, we saw Neon pop off on the Jet. Can they do the same thing on the Raze on this map? I like the double controller option as well. I really like the one-way potentials for the Omen and the Viper. Viper setting up the wall over at B site, though. I've seen Viper mostly played at A site lately, so doing a little bit different than the norm.
Regardless, going to be getting into this round number 1. Black Dragon Society. There. To try and make their way in. Ico spots them out as they try and make it towards long. Doesn't actually get tagged, and we see Ico trying to go for a little bit of a different play than they did earlier. With a, instead of going for the Sheriff round 1, opting for classic plus light shields. And they're just going, push me, come on. Make your way in. You know you want to. I'm ready for you. The spray through the smoke's going to be decent. Finds a little bit of damage onto the players of Black Dragon Society, but at least for now, they're just being stuffed out. Diamonds fan finds a great shot onto ADD, though. And that's going to be the opening kill alongside Planks taking out Neon.
Well, Neon got trapped into that teleporter alone, unfortunately. They just sent themselves to the teleporter, open the doors forcefully, and just completely swarm in the cornered Raze there. Now 5 versus 3, they're swarming onto A site. Nick holding U-Haul with their last breath, perhaps. If they can hold it here a little bit longer, takes out Adept as well. Almost shuts down Planks, but buys a lot of time for the team. Another rotation. They're going to have to do another run across the map from DNA Diff.
DNA Diff
Tristy
trying to maybe take a page out of their book, but Tristy turns around too quickly. Does not manage to catch the players going through the teleporter, so Dubbin is going to be able to make it through alongside Ico. They spot it out, but he doesn't flip back in time, and Planks picks up his 3rd kill of the round. Can he do one more? Well, that's going to be a question of health more than anything else. He's very lit, but so are the rest of the players. Dubbin spots him out, does not manage to get the kill off, and now he's being spotted out. He's being pinged from all angles, and Planks picks up a 4K to open up round number 1.
Planks and the rest of the team entirely looking a lot more confident on this map. They seem to have a lot better answers and faster to pull the trigger on a lot of rotations, and that speed is there. They seem to be a lot more comfortable so far. This is, of course, the very first round as a pistol round, so a lot to be still seen for the rest of this match, but we already are seeing Black Dragon Society look a lot better as an overall unit in this map than we did in Haven.
Going into the next round, they seem to be poising themselves. The same type of push that they went for in round number 1, but this time Aiko going for the same aggression, and it's Tristy. Finds Neon, takes such a huge source of fragging power off the board before the round has even gotten started, and now Adept finds Aiko. This has already become a very tough round for DNA Diff. Lost 2 of their biggest players. And now another one gone in ADD. This not a good way to start the second round.
So a lot of what we saw from Black Dragon Society's attack the last time as well. They're playing a lot more default, being a little bit more patient, finding some picks. Nice little bait by Tristy. And once they get the initial picks, you just go and burst onto the site. Duff didn't have much of an option there in a 1 versus 5. So I don't blame him for doing that. It was a little bit of a doom situation in the round anyway, but still, Black Dragon Society doing a great job of just spreading a little bit, controlling the pace better, finding a pick or two, and then exploding and exploiting whatever those openings are available to them. So good showing so far. This will be that bonus round though. Spectres, Bulldog, 1 rifle up against a full buy of DNA Diff. It's gonna be a lot harder to do that default pick option against players who have better weaponry than you.
I want to know why they saw their teammate get mowed down inside the teleporter and thought, this will be a good idea. I'll go through the teleporter too. I've got something he doesn't, but at the end of the day, he did not. And speaking of things people do not have, Aiko has no more health. Only 1 remaining. Very nearly dies for that early peek out of Hookah.
We see Black Dragon Society doing the same thing as before, just completely spraying out. D-Native so far has done the same thing on defense as well, as far as the agent allocations across the board. So this basically just running back the same strategies the past 2 rounds, just this time it's different weaponry across the field. It's the 3rd time, but 3 different arrangements of weapons. We'll see how this plays out. Nothing really happening so far. Nice 1-way by the Omen. It's one of the big reasons why they picked that Omen on this map is stamp the 1-way for a short.
Recovering it.
Getting ready to push onto this site, or maybe not. Maybe just a quick bait. Putting that Astra util down to trick DNA Diff into thinking that the enemies are coming for them while they're really poised to try and take B. I don't know for sure yet. This Black Dragon Society have yet to commit to anything. And yeah, they're just going to take the teleporter. They're all in. Core pushes through showers, manages to take down Nick, but Dubbin's good for the refrag, so it's still a 4-on-4, and make that a 4-on-3 as Neon finds Adept in the showers. That's spiked down as well, so they have full control over that all-important bomb.
Spray's going through. They don't have Spike in hand yet, and the rotation's coming through for DNA Div. Adder almost is able to finish off the round. The time runs out, though. Spike was back in bathrooms and showers. They couldn't get this plant down. DNA Div, they had to just sit around, was kind of the game plan. That's what one was, just hang out. That's something that we didn't see from Scrounging Pros last time we saw this map with Black Dragon Society. Scrounging Pros wasn't willing to just hang out and burn out the timer on defense. They're not giving us these angles. They're not exploiting on site. We're totally cool with hanging out and letting the timer run out. That's what Diff is saying, and that's what was successful that round. Black Dragon Society, they need to push it to a little bit better. They're not going to be able to get away with being so passive like they did in the last game.
And a weird bit of passiveness from Aiko at the end there. Did not push alongside the rest of their teammates onto the site to try and combat Black Dragon Society. They just kind of waited on the other site, watched their teammates die, but the timer ran out and they managed to get the dub. And speaking of getting the dub, Core knocks down Adder in style, even after misreading the peak, still flicks back in time and gets the kill.
Dropping those leers out, trying to just get all onto the site, but they still have the option to rotate through the teleporter, and they're kind of baiting towards it. They might actually do so. DNA Div's kind of buying that aggression. They read those leers as a commitment. Those teleporters are crafty. They're sneaky on this map.
Damage is going to come on to Diamond's fan, though. They're trying to get their revenge a little bit, but this Viper utility on the site is so good. Ico is completely locked off all of their lines of sight. Two of them are going to take teleporter there. They're trying to get away, and the Astral Cosmic Divide going to be popped to keep them from being able to stop this aggression on his site. Neon going to send the grenade, though, and it's going to be in perfect position to very nearly kill Adept. Adept survives by the skin of their teeth, gets the spike down, gets away, and gets the heal off. Now Core prevents the rotation in from Ico. Neon trades are going back and forth all across the map, but it's red team that's coming up on top for now. Black Dragon Society whittles away the competition. Now it's only all onto the shoulders of Neon. They run out of ammo in that Spectre, and Diamonds fan in the raised Ditto able to take them down, taking another round for the BDS squad.
BDS's playstyle works so well for this map, completely spreading out. They had two players already at A site that entire time, just waiting in case people peek out and lurk out. And then they take the teleporter and just push on a site. They already have people acclimated there, ready to go, to be able to get some control without drinking information as well. That Cosmic Divide was a great utility usage, but that won't be here this time. They have to deal with a showstopper on DNA Diff. On a save round, they still might be a little cheeky and pop it after they get 1 or 2 kills and try to like funnel that into getting more weaponry, but not anymore if they're dead.
Oh, what an early play from Diamonds fan. The early aggression maybe actually not going to pay off as Nick gets the refrag and gets a gun upgrade in the process. But that gun upgrade's not going to matter because Core takes them down before they get the opportunity to make use of it. Now, in the 3-on-2, DNA Diff yet again stuck at a disadvantage after the early round plays. All 3 of the players from Black Dragon Society have locked down A site. Meanwhile, the DNA players are across the map. They've got so long to make it, and now all the utility is down. They're going to have such a hard time getting back in and getting the defuse.
You will not kill my allies.
Resurrection expended as well. Honestly, that's already a successful round from DNA Diff. On an eco, almost true eco, they force a resurrection out and hinder the economy of Black Dragon Society.
Waiting, Dovin trying to push their way in alongside Ico, but Ico falls down as they try and just flank a great angle from Tristy. Is going to make it nigh on impossible to play this. And yeah, the crossfire is just so good from the Black Dragon. Thing DNA Diff could have done with what they had at hand. They're all going to fall down. And now the rift between them is growing ever. Beyond hope, Chad, that Bind does not end up like Haven. Back-to-back 13-1s in opposite directions would be a little bit surreal.
I don't know if that's going to happen, especially going into this next round. The full buy-up is available for DNA Diff and for Ultimates. KO, that null command is so good at just stalling off the approach of enemy players. They can't use their abilities to go onto site, so they can just allow time for rotations for the team. And now, especially the 2v1 firing squad lineup, Core was getting a little aggressive there, trying to get the opening pick and just punished for it. Now in a 5 versus 4 with ultimate advantage, this might be a round going DNA Diff's way.
Trying to push on through that smoke. Tristy going to take a little bit of a beating in the process, but not going to die off of it. And instead, it's going to be Diamonds fan with the spray on through all the way over across the map at Hookah. They're going to be a lot the worse for wear for the fight. But they still take the fight victoriously. 4-on-4. Ready to push on in. It's Ico getting out of Hookah and getting caught by Planks, so they're still spread all the way across the map, but Neon, not one to let their opponents find too much of an advantage, takes it, brings us right back to a 3-on-3 now. Black Dragon Society making their way towards Hookah, gonna try and push in here, and they have read the defensive split correctly. They realize that there's only Nick here, but with the health that they're at and a Phantom in hand, Nick has the opportunity to come up the hero for his squad, and he's already well on his way, finding a headshot through the smoke onto Diamond's fan. He's got the paranoia in hand, and now help has arrived. The spike is going to go down, but it's in a tough spot for the Black Dragon Society to defend. As soon as the defenders come crashing in, the paranoia comes out, but it doesn't catch him. Doesn't matter, though, because Adder's going to be able to find the shot. Neon on the cleanup, so DNA Diff are alive and well and back on in.
I think that fragment was meant to be angled to hit default instead. But at the very least, clears out that right corner. Still does this job. DNA Diff they're doing a great job of just holding the line and not falling for any of these fakes, these feints, these baits that Black Dragon Society is trying to set up. They're trying to use those teleporters to their advantage to just rotate around the map and throw off DNA Diff. DNA Diff fell for that a few rounds for sure, but now they're doing a lot better job of just completely spreading out across the map, holding angles, holding lines, and just trying the best to stall for time, maybe get a pick and then rotate off, things like that, before having to concede the site and then play for a retake.
But at least right now, Black Dragon Society still in a great position. The ulti's going to come out, and it's actually going to be opposite ultis. Both of them popped at the same time, the Showstopper and the Hunter's Fury from Black Dragon Society, going to make life really hard. DNA Diff, at least for the moment. They're going to just back off and let them run themselves out, so no one's going to die in the process. And actually, the counter ult from Dubbin, the Hunter's Fury of his own, going to come out and pop, take down Diamond's fan. Nick gets another great shot onto Core. And DNA Diff looking pretty good going into this round. They managed to take the ultimate utility out of the hands of Black Dragon Society and find kills in the process.
They use all their ultimates in response, though. They still have that Viper's Pit active over towards Hookah. With 3 people on site, it's going to be a 3v3 on contact. That utility gives so much information, actually. Just got a lot of hits on that knife usage, on that 0 point.
They're all known, but Adder, not one to take the risk, especially while at 5 HP, is not going to be trying that push anytime soon. Tristy, though, barely avoids getting killed by that shock dart. Now the second one, but it's Aiko on the flank, and the spray down is messy, but it's good. And he's going to be able to take down Planks while Dubbin takes out Tristy. The defenders pick up another round, and this is slowly making its way back to being a closer Valorant game.
Why was Aiko moving while shooting right there? Didn't even
gun,
stop.
Running gun.
Just slow walk forward the whole time. Just knew it was a guaranteed kill from the rotation at least. So they had all the information from the 0 point. So you just saw instantly the Sova rotate back through CT to support the team from the back lines. Aiko pushes out from the Viper's Pit and goes to market. And just was basically a guaranteed win at that point because DNA Diff got all the information they needed. But now the only ultimate on the foot field is Core in the hands of that Empress. This is a player that popped up so many times for BDS. The last time we saw them against Scrounge and Pros on this map. So can Core pop off this round, get a lot of kills, use that Empress to their advantage, get on the site, and then keep that map advantage or the round advantage in their favor? That's what they're probably going to need to have happen to win out this round.
Yeah, Core's had a little bit of a quieter game compared to how they were playing against Scrounge and Pros. But he's still very, very dangerous. Now they're making their way into Hookah. It's Aiko, one making the attempt to stop them. And Diamond's fan, very, very low health. Could potentially die if they peek out. And yes, it is going to be them dying. Aiko takes them down and gets the second kill onto Planks. Not able to find the third as Tristy gets a great headshot, though, with the Sheriff. But the damage has been dealt. DNA Diff take a 4-3 player lead. Knife going to come through, going to reveal them alongside the Sova arrow. Their positions are more than known, and Dubbin going to be holding this cubby corner, ready to peek out alongside Adder. The wall comes up, they shoot it down, so they still have this angle, and oh, Adept has no idea. He might just walk his back right into where Adder is peeking, but it's actually not going to matter as Core takes down Dubbin, gets rid of that danger of the crossfire, and Tristy reads the teleport with beautiful precision, takes down Neon, and now Black Dragon Society have taken the lead in this round, but not if Adder has anything to say about it. He finds a great Tristy. We're in the 2v2, but he's waiting for his teammate in Nick to come back around. He runs out of ammo, but so does Adept. They both run out of ammo at the same time. The kill is going to have to come from Core instead. We're in the 1v1. The spike is down. He's going to try and stick it. He's going to get it to at least half. Oh no, Core. He's got to be so careful about this. 9 bullets in the chamber. He's being baited, and he knows it, but it doesn't matter because Core will come out on top, and Black Dragon Society continue their reign of terror.
Core coming up big. Glad I called it. that's definitely that player that you want to be able to pop off and have a Phantom in hand. They didn't have all the rifles that they wanted on across the team, but they definitely made sure that Core had one of them with the Empress available. Clutches out the very end of that round. And that time around, it was also DNA Diff being the one that's a little slow in the rotation. They got information from that 0 point from Adder, knowing that Sova was still in hookah. They're not going to be attacking A side on rotation without Sova on their side doing so with that information gathering. I'd imagine they wouldn't at the very least, but they still left 2 people over towards A side in case the rotation happened. So a little bit slow the answer. Tristy coming up big with DNA Diff members eager out of bathrooms.
Okay, Tristy, we see you. We see you too, Diamonds fan, finding all the kills in the leaving Dub and all. Diamonds fan to clean it up. 5 kills between the 2 of them. They were like, these rounds are taking a little bit too long. It's getting a little bit late. I want to finish this up, go on to map 3 as soon as possible. So let's just make these like 20-second rounds. And Tristy and Diamonds fan come together to just mop up DNA Diff. Now a 3-round lead built up.
You asked for that, but it's typically not the MO of Black Dragon Society, and they're the ones in command of this map. That was a very fast round for sure. That wasn't typical for them, though, and a lot of that came from DNA Diff being very aggressive coming out, and that was a very expensive round for them to gamble that much through. Now they're on a save with a bunch of sheriffs mostly, and you have to try to find some big kills, and that's going to be one of them.
Speaking of big kills, yeah, Ico takes down Diamonds fan, but
Unlucky,
they get
really.
caught with the Zelsis peek there a little bit. Utility in hand as Plank makes their way through the wall, takes them down. They're just gonna wall up, maybe revive here, maybe going to pick up Diamonds fan yet again, and yeah, Diamonds going to be put right back on their feet despite being taken down by Ico in the early round in the wall. Plus Sheriff is going to mean that they can't say anything about it.
I think that was a good call to get the resurrection through.
Right now, got a player stuck inside of the teleporter, and they had another one trying to peek around the corner, hookah, but one of them's already fallen, and the other one might not be long for this world as Diamond just right at them, and
wow,
that was a little bit disrespectful.
The anti-eco is strong with these ones.
I mean, yeah, like you're in a rifle round up against sheriffs. It's maybe don't get too excited. It was a good kill.
They're just working out the leg muscles so they can start running faster and faster. I think they're trying to get the speed up for their team because that's where they were struggling beforehand. But now they're finding a lot more success. They are kind of getting faster in these rounds as of late. It is going to be a full buy up though, so they might give a little bit more respect this time around and be a little bit slower than before. But still, they have that Cosmic Divide available. If they can get a little bit of information and cut off a map like they've done successfully in the past, they have been really good with using that Cosmic Divide. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they use it this time around.
Now, the defenders have read this aggression correctly as the nade comes in, though, and it's going to make that read a little bit painful for them. Nick being trapped up with all the utility in the world flying right at his face. He's going to retreat, but Neon through the smoke, taken down by Diamonds fan, and that's going to be a painful one as Diamonds fan finds another one with the paranoia coming through. Core picks up a 3rd one, and it's just a bloodbath inside of Showers.
Wow, the aggression definitely has picked up. The tempo has increased out of Black Dragon Society. They are not the slow-paced team anymore. It's looking like they're kind of figuring things out and getting a lot of confidence on their side. 5-2. It's going to be a save from DNA Div. They have no control of the site at all. They have rifles that they want to keep going to the last round of the half. That was a great show of composure at Showers by BDS. They used their utilities so well. Good predictions on the lineups through the smokes. And I liked how Core walked in with that owl drone as well, just to bait out Adder from making them think that they need to aim long, but it was Core up close and center.
Now the 5-on-2 makes it really hard. 5-on-1's even harder as Ico's stuck inside of a gravity well being shot at all angles, has no chance. Snowball's chance in hell really of getting out of there.
Last round in the
Not going to be able to make it happen, so a flawless round comes through from Black Dragon Society as they look to make this a 9-3 scoreline to close out the half.
That was actually so rough for DNA Div too. They went for the save so fast and early on that BDS had all the time in the world to go and hunt them down, find them, and they did so as a unit, as a wolf pack. It was a really good execution for that punishment DNA Diff couldn't disrupt any of the economy, even though their servers wouldn't even mattered, but they also couldn't keep all the best weaponry they wanted for themselves either. Not looking full strength going to the last round. They have a Viper's Pit though. This could be big for a hold.
But they're going to lose one of their biggest sources of utility and fragging. Neon goes down. Diamond's fan makes it all the way into sight, completely uncontested. Is going to be caught out by the recon bolt, but going to be able to retreat away from Dubbin, so he's not going to be able to get the kill. Dubbin is going to be able to take down Adept, but quickly refragged by Core. And now in the 3-on-3, make that a 3-on-2, make that a 2-on-2. Bodies fall left, right, and center. The Cosmic Divide going to come up, making this really tough for the defenders to get back in. And Core going to take down Adder. Good shot from Planks going to close it out and free up, but it's not going to matter because half is finished.
Core was a little bit slow to start feeling themselves than the last time we saw them bind as well against Scrounging Pros in semifinals. And this time around, Core is starting to feel themselves really well. It gets another 4K on that round. It's just popping off, hitting all the shots. And again, a great job of using that Cosmic Divide. It ended up to where both members of DNA Diff were on the side of Cosmic Divide that the Black Dragon Society was on, but still it narrows down a lot of the angles they can account for, narrow down that focus. Going to the next round, DNA Diff, they're the ones on attack now, and as we saw from the first map of the series, they are very aggressive and very precise and concise and cohesive as a unit going on attack. So I want to see what they can do to explode on sites. Right now though, they're set up a lot for default, looking to try to play a pick and push, a pick and explode kind of a play style. It wasn't what worked for them in Haven necessarily, but maybe on Bind they have a different approach and maybe it could work for them this time.
Core, early aggression into the showers, trying to catch someone out, but Adder not quite able to see him. Diamond's fan with the shorty, not able to get the kill. Neon also manages to pick up Planks across the map too, so not a great start for Black Dragon Society, but Core looking to claw them back into the round by taking down Nick. Getting their way onto site. Core has a great angle to do it, but they just take the teleporter. So now they're going to try and make their way onto the B site instead.
Nice rotation from BDS. You have two members there ready to go, but numbers advantage is not in their favor.
Speaking of numbers advantage not in their favor, that number is going to, in a split second, drop down to 0 as every single member from Black Dragon Society falls in tandem. No one's alive anymore. DNA Diff pick up the first pistol round. This could be the start of what they need to get themselves back in here on Bind and prevent us going to the decider map.
This round went to the attacking team yet again. So statistically, they probably will win this, but Core has popped off with the sheriff in the past. We saw that in the semifinals. Just both times they had to do an eco round, Core just found 1 to 3 kills that were just very pivotal and then just popped off, got their heals off them. But now at 12 HP, maybe not. Luckily, has a stage right next to them.
Core might be dying here soon, but Dubbin actually can't find the killing blow. Ico across the map is going to manage to do it. And Adept runs out, takes down Core, is immediately traded out, though, with only 7 health remaining. The 4-on-3 Black Dragon Society. If Core can manage to get a kill, maybe catch someone on an off angle, maybe get their health back up thanks to an absorb, it's definitely possible for them to be up and kicking for a long time yet. At least for now, it's DNA Diff that's holding on to the advantage. Planks trying to take an angle from heaven, but currently smoked off. That's going to allow the spike to go down. Now it's a waiting game, waiting for their teammates to arrive. They drop down from heaven, manage to take out Ico. Core goes down. They're just waiting, trying to get to the spike, but it's ticking away, pushing into lamps, but it's Nick that comes out on top. That leaves Plank all alone, just the Astra. Not even anywhere near the site, making their way around. Nick's ready and waiting. They know they're... Picks up a 3rd kill for the round as DNA Diff continue to maybe get themselves back in here.
I wonder if DNA Diff wasn't really paying attention to the semifinal match if they beat Team Basilisk so quickly. They had the time to be able to study a little bit. Black Dragon Society played on defense for the second half as well. Because what Black Dragon Society has done every time from the semifinals match, as well as this one on Bind, if they're doing an eco round, they have 4 people stacked on A site with Core hiding towards teleporter. It's going to be Diamond's fans hanging out in Octagon Garden with Adept being the one kind of interval and baiting out shots, things like that, with leaving Tristy all alone on A side. They got the kill on Tristy, but it took him forever to get onto A side explode. So seems like DNA Diff didn't quite do a lot studying of Black Dragon Society, which might backfire later on if we're not learning their strats for this map.
Now, though, this is going to be the round, the pendulum, the rubber band that decides how the rest of the map is going to go. If DNA Diff can continue their streak of dominance on the attack, I don't even know if I could call it dominance really, but their win streak on attack, they will be able to slowly claw their way back in on Bind and prevent the decider. But it's still entirely possible now that they have rifles in hand that Black Dragon Society will just go right back to their bread and butter of dominating on Bind. They had a 9-3 half on the attack. Now
Well,
on the
I don't think
defense,
that
we'll see
knife
what they can
saw
do.
planks.
No, it didn't. It didn't spot him out. And Diamond's fan going to be able to start off the round great, but Dubbin and Neon going to immediately get those refrags, and from beyond the grid, Diamond's paint shell going to take down Adder. Neon, though, quick on the draw, takes out Planks and leaves Tristy alone on the site. They try and peek around, but it's Aiko waiting for them, and now Core all on his lonesome in the 1v3. But Chad, if there's anyone you want on your team in the 1v3, it's definitely Core at
You could
full
do it.
health on the Reyna with the util. He's got the Leer. He's going to be hurt by the Viper wall. He knows where the bomb is. He's going to make his way through. He has his suspicions that Dubbin is hiding behind this box, and he's going to be able to find him through the wall. Now the two players remaining inside of Lamps are going to
Time's
have to
ticking.
find a way to deal with Core. Core takes down Neon now in the 1v1, but time's ticking away. This is difficult for him to take. Pulls out the pistol and cannot do it as Aiko clutches it out, brings us to that nice score line of 6-9.
That time was ticking down. Honestly, didn't have time to even reload the rifle. I had to go for the classic kill instantly, otherwise the time wouldn't be there anyway. Core looking really good. If he had about 10 more seconds to work with, it was kind of positioned to maybe be able to win that out. Aiko was a really skilled player, but Core is just popping off, was feeling himself so far this game. Could have done the same there. Empress is available now. The Spectres in hand while everybody else is rocking Sheriffs, a classic. It's going to be a rough round overall for Black Dragon Society, but maybe Core can get a couple kills picked off in the early step here. Long range gets doubling on Sova be long. Might not be the best area to have a Spectre in hand, but we'll see. 3 people stacked A short. All paranoid.
Oh, Nick!
Oh,
Nick
the
able
place
to
is
get
gone.
one in Planks, stuck inside of the molly, going to be pushed right out into Nick as well. Now DNA Diff find a huge advantage to start out the round. A 5v2. Core alive, but with only a Spectre, and he hears the teleport pop off, so Tristy going to be alone on the site, manages to take down Dubbin with a great headshot, going to also hopefully get their gun, unless Neon doesn't give them the chance. The spray down coming through, only 2 bullets left in the mag, and he gets caught out from behind by Nick. Core alone, again, has to hurt.
Only a Spectre this time too. It's a little tough to pull this one off. I gotta say, Black Dragon Society changed it up for their eco round. They've been doing a 4-stack on B side. I called out earlier, and they're doing the same exact positioning, everything so far. But this time they do an eco, and they have a 3-stack in A short. The only problem is DNA Diff maybe not studying and reading their opponent beforehand actually worked out that time, because they played A short as if they don't do that every single round on the side of Black Dragon Society. So when they changed it up finally, they were not caught off guard by DNA Diff. They used the utility properly, got a huge paranoia off, and just mowed it down the opposition in A short. Now with the full buy up though, Black Dragon Society is rearing and ready to go. Try to keep their round lead to their advantage. Aggression coming out of Core.
Or being aggressive is not something that we haven't seen before, but at least this time, not going to be met with any reward or punishment for that aggression, really, as they just retreat away. Nothing going to happen. Shots coming through. Dubbin going to actually find Adept from behind, and now Adder pushes in, finds Planks from ahead. This is just absolutely insane usage of the Sova as well as the push. 2 players going to fall, and the rest of the squad of Black Dragon Society going to have to push in through spawn. Owl drone coming in, not going to spot anyone out, but the spike is down and ticking away. The Leer going to come through, but not going to spot them out, and You saw the headshot through the wall, right? Core, despite being shot in the head, going to be able to take down Neon before getting traded out by Nick. Diamonds fan pushing into showers. That's dubbing. Great flick from him.
It's too late.
Don't know if it's going to matter because, yeah, too little, too late. Adder might still get this kill. Adder still does get this kill. He continues the spray down as the spike will detonate, and DNA Diff bring this from what was a 6-round difference to a 1-round difference.
This has been a flawless half for DNA Diff. Their attacking side is looking so good, and this is what I was wondering going into is even though they struggle on defense, now they have the control of the timing, the tempo. They're the ones who can dictate how this goes. They're finding so much more success, and it's going to be a defensive timeout from the side of Black Dragon Society because, yeah, they just bled out 5 rounds in a row when this is a defensive favored map overall. They are the team that was ahead. They have a slower tempo, and this is their map pick. And best of 3 here last. If they lose this map, then they're out of the grand finals. This would be it since DNA Diff won the first map.
Yeah, and rightly so. Black Dragon Society going to be calling for that tactical timeout, giving themselves a little bit of time to confer amongst themselves and with their coach. Try and figure out what the heck is going wrong because they have lost. I can't do math. Oh my goodness. 5 rounds straight. I almost said 4, and then I realized that it was 8. 5 rounds straight. They have lost to DNA Diff's attack. They have yet to win a defensive round. So, at least at the moment, they need to figure out something different for their defense, or, like you said, they're going to be going out 0-2 of this grand finals at 2nd place in VSS number 61.
The toxic screen just splitting right down the middle of A site, and they're not even playing towards it whatsoever. And this is pulling a 3-player rotation from Black Dragon side to A site, with Core being aggressive through A short, but it's not going to matter. Everybody from DNA Diff posing for B, but they're doing it through B long. They might be able to take the teleport and do a big rotation play. So 3 members of Black Dragon Society pushing through short, going through market, might be able to go on the backside of DNA Diff if they commit to the site, which looks like they will. That might actually be a huge opening for Black Dragon Society going into this round.
A good shot from Core going to find Dubbin, but immediately traded out by Adder without too much damage done in the process. But wow, what an ulti from Diamonds fan, able to take down Adder, but the trades come out great, and Neon with an ulti of his own is right back into the advantage state. 71 health remaining, and the peak from Neon, making it not matter at all. Diamond did so much work on the setup, but DNA Diff at the end of the day was just able to get that round under their belt, and now, Chad, we're tied.
Tied up last. That was looking so good at the start. Core has a Phantom in hand, a rifle, was able to get the first kill, but then just couldn't quite find the right shots onto Adder long range, and couldn't quite connect to that second kill to really open up the site for the team. Forced Diamonds fans to have to use that sword shopper just to finish off that kill, and all of their utility just wasn't allocated to the right place just because that little bit of things went wrong. They didn't have the best weaponry. Adder just had a Marshall in hand. Going into this round, though, still tied up, but the ultimate advantage is on the side of Black Dragon Society. They can use a Cosmic Divide to really disrupt the approach of DNA Diff, or set up a nice retake after a post-plant situation occurs.
Ico getting ready to push in. I believe they suspect someone might be in the cubby, but no one actually is there. I want to point out that, look at the ult economy. 2 ults ready. Actually, one of them is going to be popped. The Viper's Pit is going to come out. But Black Dragon Society has Revive, Cosmic Divide, and Empress all at the ready. At the moment's notice, they could pop them, but the attackers are being so very careful on this round. There's the Empress pop from Core. Tristy going to die, though, from a great shot, dubbing it long.
Nice, aggressive, and a bit of a gamble from Adept, but it works out. But they're not in position to really get a good resurrection off yet. Gonna pop the door open and leave them completely exposed.
Oh, Adept is going to pick Core back up, but Adept just immediately going to fall, and now Core is trapped in an awful position. Is going to be able to take out Adder, but the Molly is going to get the pulse in. Now Diamond's all alone, gets the great quick scope onto Ico, but it might just be too little too late as Diamond's fan is stuck and a 2-on-1. Last pack to peek hookah, but there's no one there. Both players
No
over
information.
an elbow. Taps the spike to get information, but the paranoia comes out, gets them with the blind. Not actually spotted by the recon dart, but time is getting low. With the swing, Dubbin takes him down, and DNA Diff, from going down 9-3 at the half, have now taken a lead. You would have
This
thought
is-
that was impossible, Chad.
This is wild. I did not expect this. I thought we were going to go into like maybe like a 13-5, 13-6 to close out the map. 13-8 tops. But no. It's 10-9 the other way around. DNA Diff is looking so good, so clean. And even that 2v1 retake, they let Nick swing out wide while Dubbin followed up a little bit closer on the corner. Just a really clean 2v1 swing. DNA Diff, they're just looking so good. And I'm looking forward to seeing this null command ultimate. 0-point throw.
No, it just lands on top of the roof.
Well, I don't know if that roof is low enough to still get information of showers or not.
Regardless, though, while we were watching the knife fly, 3 players from Black Dragon Society all died in quick succession. Now it's just Tristy and Adept on their own. Tristy tries to peek out and finds a great shot onto Neon. Equalizes it just a little bit of damage done to them, though they lack. So it's going to be tough to counter this peek coming up from long, and Tristy might actually misread this. As the DNA Diff squad makes their way into the B site, they're rotating towards A. Oh, a complete and total misread.
Oh no.
And oh no, Adept on the flank. Tries to get the shots off, but the aim just isn't there. And with the molly plus the shots through the smoke, Tristy falls as well. 2 points off of winning this 2-0. Now, DNA Diff, their attack is
This
just
is it.
looking unbeatable. They haven't lost a round yet.
Not yet, and this is the last big buy. If Black Dragon Society loses this, they will not have a full buy going into the last, I wouldn't say last round, but they won't have it full buy going to match point situation if they lose this round. So this is going to be like the last big stance. Is this round operator in the hands of Adept showing up for B long, but Dubbin hasn't really peeked the long a whole lot, just using abilities to just get information there is all. Nice snake bite as well to punish aggression out of Diamonds fans.
Yeah, the immediate reads coming in from DNA Diff going to find both Core and Diamonds fan with the Molotovs to do a little bit of damage and take their shields off the boards. Now they're going to back off, try and reposition themselves into showers to hold there. But DNA Diff, well, they've yet to commit to a site. You even see the spike going through the tunnel by spawn. They have all the options in the world. They've already done some damage, and they're ready to flow to a different site if be.
The aggression, and this is probably going to catch out Ico on short, so they'll at least have a lot of initial info on what's going on here. There it goes. So now they know A site is not really going to be their attack, forcing DNA to have to make some plays happen at B. Diamonds fan ready for it though.
Diamonds fan gets in, but it's not going to matter as Neon flies into Planks, takes another one down, but is immediately traded out by Dubbin, and I don't think they realize that Neon is this far forward. They're going to be spotted out down in the rotation, but the shock darts are so good. He's very nearly dead, and with the flank from Diamonds fan coming through, they finally break the drought, and Black Dragon Society has put a defensive round on the board. They win the round, and now there's only yet again one separating the two teams.
So big, losing all of that utility for disruption from Ico. That's a lot of post-plant stuff gone away as well, even if they got to that point, but still that was a lot of just knowledge on the map, a lot of map control that Black Dragon Society was able to earn for themselves with a lot of aggression, a little bit of a gamble play from Diamonds fans and Core, but it paid off this time. Nearly tied up, but they have a lot more breathing room this time around. If they lose out this round, they still will have a little bit of a goodbye going to the next one.
Neon getting ready to peek. I believe he saw that Adept was on top of the wall, but Adept just going to back off. Getting ready to push in. Adept still trying to hold this angle, but
So
going to
much info.
decide better of it. The Disable going to come through, and the peek from Adder. So good to take down Planks. Now they have full control of the site. They're going to get in, going to be able to get the spike down. And there's nothing Adept can do to stop them.
It's that null command last. If you go down, you can get traded off and resurrected anyway. You get faster fire rate. Adif only able to get one on elbow, and this might be it. Last is a 3 versus 4 in the retake, and they're all coming from the same exact angle. So easy with all these post-plant utilities from DNA Diff to be able to hold the site.
Absolute insane push onto site from them. They're going to try and make their way back on with Diamond's Fan's Showstopper, but it's not going to find anyone. Instead, it's going to Diamond's both fall. It leaves Tristy all on their lonesome, and they're taken down in quick, short order by Adder. Match point, chat. But it's not for the team we expected after the first half.
Right. The only thing for Black Dragon Society is they can get some rifles. That's about it. They have no ultimates whatsoever. They're a few points away from all of their ultimates, except for Diamond's Fan, who just used it for no gain at all in that last round. But Huntress Fury is available for Dubbin. They're almost to their own showstopper on Neon on the side of DNA Diff. They have such a huge advantage on this round, and it's their match point. I think this might be a 2-0 at this point last. They have all of the things they need to be able to close out the series right now.
This is just an absolutely unholy comeback, and I know we're harping on it a lot, but that's just because of how insane it's been. They've dropped a total of 1 round on the defensive half, and now they're rushing their way onto site with a kill from traded out immediately. Now the 3-on-3, thanks to the double kill with the Huntress Fury. Core going to pop the Empress to try and make something happen. They're up to heaven, but the spike's going to be planted. There's no way for them to deny it as it's behind the truck. So now the spike is down, ticking away in the 3-on-3. Tristy's making their way around on the flank, but I believe they've been read by Dubbin. Dubbin knows that they're here, and as they peek out, they still get the headshot regardless. So that's going to be Dubbin falling, and Black Dragon Society take this up in a 3-on-2. Aiko takes the shots towards Tristy, but the shock dart comes in, and it's going to be good to push them off of their position. Regardless, though, Aiko still finds the kill. Adder still finds the kill, and it's all on to Planks.
Here's the steps. Here's where Adder went.
Taps the spike, and
Is there
Planks
time? There's no time.
clutches it up, but there's no time, and DNA Diff are going to be your VSS number 61 champions as they complete the beautiful comeback here on Vine to take it 13-10. And they, again, just unreal plays from this team. I was not expecting them to be the champions. I saw teams like Shopify Rebels sign up. I saw teams like Team Basilisk signed up, but they all fell earlier, and they're just DNA, they're different.
It's just the DNA Diff is what it really is. I like the dying breath fragment throw from the new agent, displaying the new abilities, the one that secured the final victory at the end there. Great showing by DNA Diff. I love their aggression. They were ready to pull the trigger when they saw an opening. They were ready to just execute their plans, no hesitation. I love that. That's like a championship mentality. And that's what they had used to beat out Team Basilisk in 13-4 fashion. And that's what they used to dominate round map 1 and then still inch out of victory with a crazy comeback of round points on the attacking side, the second half of that last map, which was the opponent's map pick as well. Neon being the map MVP. Oh my gosh, this player just pops off left and right. Did a great performance on Jet the last map, and just as good on Raze.
An absolutely insane player, being the cornerstone of the comeback. Average combat score of 240. Not to mention so many kills, so many clutches, so much utility. But it was a team effort as you look at the stats being almost identical player to player on DNA Diff. It's just, wow. The cherry on top of the cake is that they win it 2-0. I for sure thought we were going to be here for a while as we went to a match, especially after that first half from Black Dragon Society. But what a story.
Yeah, great job by DNA Diff, able to just buckle down and just find a way of succeeding, and their attack is looking so deadly. I'm looking forward to seeing more of this team moving forward as well, especially of Neon. Aiko is doing a great job on those controllers. The Sentinel as well with the Cypher. The players across the board were performing great, just like you said, and the way they were able to adapt on this map, that was the opponent's pick, figure out a way of winning through it. Great showing by the team overall.
Yeah, but that is going to do it for myself and Chad. With your champions being declared DNA Diff, that means the end of our broadcast show tonight. So I just want to give a quick shout out to all of you in chat for joining us throughout this entire thing. I want to give a congratulations to the winners and a congratulations to Neon for being the MVP. But we're going to go ahead and say goodnight So thank you so very much for joining us, and we'll see you at the next Valorant Sunday Showdown presented to you by Vanguard.